Internet, today is a bit of a different video because I have unfortunately just dunked this into the middle of a pond slash swampy area, and thankfully, due to the folks that I was flying with, they were awesome enough to have gone into the pond for me, and we didn't even know where it was. He just went in with a rake. So big shout out to Dave McKenna and Matt McKenna for helping me find this at all, for any chance of saving any of the electronics from it. But I just ran home. You can see there's still water on the frame. There's water on the battery. Obviously, it was plugged in whenever it went underneath. I haven't checked the battery voltage yet. I literally just got home, but we're going to disassemble this and throw it in a bag, and I'm just going to document what's likely to happen to you if you crash your quad into a pond, if that ever happens. Immediately, I'm going to take off every board that's in this thing, like the receiver and the front camera, and I'll take the camera apart. We're going to put it in some rubbing alcohol in a bag, and hopefully that will save some of the electronics on this thing. I'm definitely not getting everything back. I'm questioning heavily this camera, if this is going to survive or not, but we'll pry her off there and we will see. I just got this today. Do you think Great Hobbies will take it back? I don't think so. Oh, okay. I just yanked the friggin' lens off the camera. That's a separate issue. Let me just put that back then. The battery's not puffed up, which is good. I kind of expected it to be. Discharging a camera under water. Apparently it's not salt water, but it's not clean water either. So not what you want your quad to be submerged in. I'd prefer it to be submerged in good old air. Yeah, it's pretty moist. Get out of there. Ugh. Focus. It's bad. It's wet. Alright, so time is kind of the essence, more or less. A whole bunch of the good stuff in there. And bloop. And bloop. And hopefully what that's going to do is clean off all the stuff. I mean, water by itself, distilled water, will not hurt electronics. It's the stuff floating around in the water, especially in a dirty pond. So what this is going to do is clean all of the stuff that's not anything that's dirt, anything that can be easily removed. Hopefully it will bind to the alcohol, and then once it's removed from the alcohol, well, all the crap that's on this will get diluted throughout the alcohol. And then you can pull it out and dry it off, and it will be possibly good as new, but we're going to see. Fingers are crossed. Alright. This battery is pretty grody. I'm just going to hit it with some fresh water. This I probably think is going to be fine. Happens to be a battery I just bought today as well. 850 75C 3-cell. Great choice for your 3-inch prop quad. You know what? I'm going to take the casing off this battery. Not the casing, but the shrink wrap that's on it. Because there's some moisture under there. Let me tell you. Oh yeah, that's moist. Gross. Alright, so that's not private at the moment. I think that's going to be alright. I'll probably put some corrosion X in there. Alright, on to the main boards of the quad. Most expensive parts, except for the recording camera. That recording camera has already been crashed into the ocean once, and it survived after I cleaned it up a whole bunch, hit it with corrosion X, I used a toothbrush and all the green nasty bits, and it still works. And if it survives this one, then it will have survived everything. I mean, like, look at this thing, it's pretty rough. But it's still going. If it goes through, if it makes it through this, I'll be very impressed. Good old Fox here, Legend 1. Okay, what do we got? Oh, okay. Yeah, there's some corrosion in here. That speed controller, I definitely think, is pooched. But all will be discovered when we eventually plug this stuff in. I can see some nasty green stuff on there. That's not good. Freaking get out of there. What kind of idiot designed this thing? Yeah, it's me. And you can take the whole thing apart with just 2 screws. Can't really complain about that. I wish I was recording on DVR, although I did eventually find it anyway. It would have been nice to see exactly what the DVR saw. This, hey, I mean, I guess I should probably, here, I'll take that micro SD out. I'll wipe it off, and should I throw this in the alcohol? Probably. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna chuck it in there. Alright. So, flight controller, get it. Oh. Okay. Okay. That's gross. Does it smell like burnt electronics? I kind of can't tell. Mostly just smells like swamp. No, it smells like gross. Check that out. This thing is not going to want to focus, but there you go. No, it's not going to focus, but there is corrosion in there. I'm going to go get my toothbrush. This one I don't use to brush my teeth. Well, there's nothing black and scorched that's obvious. Just want to get all the really nasty stuff off. Definitely thanking my quick disconnect ESC plugs on something this small. Just using a servo connector. Okay, buzzer. I was like, man, I can hear the buzzer just barely, faintly in the distance. Like, am I going crazy? And I believe that I actually was hearing it. But it was submerged underwater, so you just get like tiny little sounds of it here and there, but now I know for sure. I'm just so glad I found this thing. Even if absolutely nothing works, I know what happened to it, because I wasn't sure if it went in the pond or not. But sure enough, I hit a tree and I disarmed the craft when I shouldn't have. And it went woo and hit the ground, and I thought it was the ground, but it wasn't the ground. It was a swamp pond type thing. All right, these guys are. Where should these guys get their own bag to help spread out the grossness? We're gonna go with yes. All right, and go the flight controller and the ESC. What's $3 worth of rubbing alcohol for saving your electronics? Worth it, if you ask me. Oh man, there's so much stuff floating around in there. Oh man. I'm very intrigued to know what survived this. Makes for some video content. I'm sure this is not the first time somebody's dunked their quad underwater and found it. Okay, time to move on to this. Where am I going to find a screwdriver that's small? That's better.
I wish this camera would focus. It can do it. I've seen it. Anyway, yeah, look at that. That's not what you want. Not at all.
Bunch of floaties in here. And since I like it so much, it'll get its own bag as well. Take the board out. Yeah, it's a crappy one. Oh, she's wet. That is a wet fox ear. But I still have a fox ear, so. Okay. The sensor is not gonna love this that much. I wonder if I should, it was already sitting in water. This stuff is great for finding out if you have cuts. I do. Yeah. Our own little swamp. Brought home with us.
This one is definitely the grossest water by far.
The inside of the quad where it held on to the most crap. Now these motors, what should I do with this? Same treatment probably wouldn't be a bad idea. I'll hit them with some normal water. Now these motors, I'm sure, are still fine. I'm easily entertained. Anyway. Alright, I guess I will report back when we find out, well, when we start plugging stuff back in and seeing if smoke comes out. Alright, so here's our drying setup. I got a space heater and a box. It's kind of on an angle. And here's all my stuff. I mean, visually everything looks okay. And it doesn't take long for rubbing alcohol to come off of stuff. So, as soon as this stuff reaches a certain heat, I'd be relatively comfortable plugging it in. Oh man. So, the SD card survived. There's my file right there. It is corrupted, but I do know how to fix it. We're going to do that, and we are going to see what we get. Although I pretty much have a pretty good idea. Alright. This literally just finished repairing. I have not watched this yet, so you're gonna get to see this for the first time at the same time that I get to see it for the first time. Okay, here's the video. There's a decent bit of time that I'm flying around before the incident. I mean, it was a gorgeous day. Look at that. I can't believe I extracted this footage from something that was sitting at the bottom of a lake for like 20 minutes. Just having fun with my quad on a nice day. I think it's probably... no, not after that. I never got my chance to follow the glider. I crashed it into the pond. So I'm definitely assuming... I wonder how long after it... I wonder if I'm going to get to see it hit the water, or if the second it hit the water, the recording probably ended. Where's that old moment of truth? Alright, so now I'm going here. I'm gonna hop over all these trees. I'm gonna hop over that one. Oh, I didn't even hit it. I didn't even hit the tree. Man, I disarmed because I thought I hit the tree and I was done, and I didn't even hit it. I am such an idiot. But we got it on video, pretty much. So yeah, pretty much the second a Foxeer Legend 1 hits any water. Pretty much the second the Foxeer Legend 1 hits any water, it stops recording immediately. Oh, I'm so dumb. Plunk. Oh, man. Well, that's awesome that I got that. Okay, so that's that. Here goes nothing. We're going to plug the USB into the flight controller. And the flight controller is wired up to the ESC still, but I don't think they should actually be interacting in any way if the ESCs aren't being powered. But watch me say that and then blow up both of them. Plugging in 3, 2, 1, full intact. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 Come on. Come on. Oh, yeah. Like nothing ever happened. Oh, man. I wish I had the log for that. That would have been cool. Oh, well. And by the way, I'm not actually using CleanFlight. I'm using Betaflight firmware. But Betaflight is having problems on my computer. It's when you open the window says it's there, but it's completely invisible, and I can't find anyone else that has the same issue, so I'm just using CleanFlight to tune what I can. It's pretty stupid, but I have Betaflight on my laptop. But anyway, the board is fine. That's awesome. Okay. We'll disconnect there, and we'll move on to the battery, I guess. I have no idea what the voltage of this is, but we're gonna find out. I have a feeling that probably one of the cells that was driving the camera, that one is probably done, like totally dead. Let's see if this thing even has enough to... Okay, there's electricity in there. 3-cell, all. 8 volts. Number 1, 0 volts. Number 2, 4.08. Number 3, 4.10. Okay, so I was not wrong. Okay. Let's go try my non-balancing charger and see if we can bump that cell up. Let's go. We're in the garage, and we got this old school charger because my S60 refuses to charge 1 cells. So we're going to start off with 400, I think I'm on the right cell there. We're going to find out. Totally not sketchy. 400 milliamps. Voltage too low. Okay, let's tell it it's an IMH and see if I can charge it at all. Oh, it's doing something. It was 0 volts. Absolutely none. I'm going to watch this really carefully. Look at that voltage. The one thing that I said was probably okay might be the one thing that is actually toast. Funny how that is. It's charging at 0.1 of an amp, and it's at 0.22 of a volt. Oh man, that's not what you want. It doesn't feel squishy at all. I mean, I don't know. If it's only for like 10, 15, 30 minutes that it was sitting at a horrific voltage, I might be able to get my money's worth out of it still, but who knows. Wow. This is really hard to get on video. Anyway. She's dead. That's 1/4 of a volt. Alright. Well, I'm going to unplug this because it's terrifying, and I'll go back to that later, but I'm curious to see how the other things are doing, so let's go take a gander. Alright, it's time for the next moment of truth, and I don't think this is going to go as well as the flight controller, but I'd love to eat my words. We're going to plug the camera in to a fresh battery, like a battery that didn't just get dunked, and there might be smoke. We're going to see. Alright, here goes nothing. I have my head plays here, you can't see them yet, but plug. Okay, the LED is going on. I can't say I have video showing up. Change some channels. What does that mean? Does that mean... Six. Oh my god. The camera is okay. It is a little blurry. Because earlier when I was trying to take this off the quad, I actually ripped the friggin' lens right off the thing. But, alright, here, I guess I'll have to turn this around one sec. Look at that. That's coming out of this thing. Oh man. Well, it definitely looks a little fuzzy. Actually, no, it looks pretty okay. It looks pretty not too bad. At first I said it was kind of fuzzy, but that might... I pushed back down on the lens. I'm definitely going to have to re-CA glue that. But, yeah. I just got this today, so I mean, it's a cheap component, but I would have been a little extra bummed that I just got it, because I just got it today if it was gone, but hey! Look at that! Yeah, that's clear. This is working 100%. Man, I thought this was done for sure. Awesome. Woo. Right, now, the feature presentation. Most expensive part on the quadcopter. Does Giles have to buy another $120 action camera? Let's find out. Plug the thing into the thing. It's hard to record and do this with one hand. It's not worth it at this point. I should have set the camera down already. Does he pull through? No. Fuck it. Okay. It's hooked up now. Now normally, it doesn't do anything until you push the button. So... Oh. Oh man, that's a really good sign. That's a really good sign. That's what it should do. Let me hit the record button. Okay, let me hit it again. Okay. Okay, I had to really push on it, but I doubt that has... yeah. Yeah. That's what it's supposed to do. So now, if we... stop recording. And we pull the power. Just kind of rude, but I'm going to do it. I do it all the time. SD card. Put it in the computer. My room is a mess. I know. Time. Do we have that video? Look at that. Listen to my stupid voice.
Yeah. That's what it's supposed to do.
Oh man, that's great. I thought I was gonna be buying a whole new quad, and so far the video transmitter works, and the camera works. The recording camera works, which is a huge thing. The battery right now is sitting at 3 volts on that one cell that was really bad without any puffing, so I think it's probably good. The flight controller is okay. We don't know about the ESC yet. And the motors, I'm almost sure are fine, but we'll know when we actually go to fly it. And no idea about this receiver. That Lemon RX guy right there. So let's move on to that. Okay, Windows did something. It's red. That's good. My radio's on, so it should be showing that it's bound. I don't know why it disconnected, but I'm sure it probably would have done that anyway. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Just as crisp as always. And we're doing pretty well, if you ask me. And you're asking me. It's my video. That's fantastic. Okay. So that's almost everything. The only thing left in question are the speed controllers and the motors. So I guess it's time to give those a brap and see what happens. Again, it's really hard to plug things in on camera, but we got BL Heli Suite open here. And we got my beautiful mug right there. And we're going to see what happens when we apply power to this. I have one motor plugged in. I did not remove my props because you only live once. And in the time that I do live, I prefer to slice myself up with purple plastic. Something's beeping. That flight controller's freaking out. The flight controller is beeping. I didn't know this flight controller could beep. I don't like that. Why is that beeping? That's weird. What if I unplug this and then hook it up? Is anything like ripped out or shorted, or is it beeping because there's no radio signal? Okay, because my radio's not turned on. We're going to plug her in again. Did that always make subtle beeps? I don't know if it did. It's not beeping anymore. Anyway, okay. So smoke's not pouring out of my 4-in-1. That motor is making beepy sounds, so that's kind of a good sign. Let's, which motor do I have hooked up? That one. So let's see here in BL Heli Suite. We're gonna, oh my god, focus. Unopened to find the thing at the wrong com. Well, then let's, oh. No COM port, eh? In plate. COM 5. Maybe I'll open it again. Yeah. COM 5. Connect. It's not even connected right now. Derp. 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 Okay, now it's plugged in. Is it going to start beeping again? No. No, maybe that was a one-time deal. Okay. COM 5 with, okay. Read setup. Here's the moment of truth. If we see the correct firmware, then that, oh yeah. Lil B, 20 amp pro, multi-shot, 14.85 on all 4 of them. My ESC survived. Oh man, that is great. So everything survived. Every single thing. I mean, we'll really be able to tell whenever I actually put the thing back together and see if it still flies, because if there is anything that I missed, it'll show itself then, but flight controller's okay, ESC is okay, battery, we don't really know about the battery. The camera, the FPV camera is good, the Fox ear is good, life is good. I'm pretty happy. Considering I was in the mindset for a good 10 minutes that I was not going to see this ever again, I'm pretty happy to see it again, because it's not a super cheap thing. So yeah. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have a video showcasing this thing flying again if all goes to plan. But anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for coming along with me for my journey, my slightly anxious journey, tearing this thing apart and throwing everything and rubbing alcohol, trying to save its life, because it looks like I've done it. Looks like I turned a stupid mistake that would have normally, in many other timelines would have been gone forever, and it wouldn't have been found at the bottom of the pond. But I was flying with Dave, and Dave, you're a beauty. Thank you for saving my quad. Thank you to his brother Matt for eyeballing it whenever I dunked it in there. He watched it through the corner of his eye and was able to say, hey, this section of the pond. But anyway, yeah, that's an interesting end to my night. I just wanted to go over for a quick flight, and I ended up doing this, but hopefully it made for a semi-interesting video. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions or anything, throw it down in the comments. And yeah, subscribe to Giles VFPV on YouTube for some hopefully more above ground level flying than what I did with this today. And yeah, thanks for watching. Take care. Happy flying.